Well, hello to all of you from around the world. I want to thank you for joining us for another edition of Soulivity Today. We're broadcasting live from our studio right here in the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And whether you're at home, driving, or even at work, we're always glad you're here with us. My name is Brian Wesley Johnson, and we have such an amazing show for you today. So much to talk about, so much to explore. But before we get to that, I want to introduce my equally amazing co-host for today, Teresa Greco, who's a motivational speaker and happiness life coach, helping people create better lives for themselves. She's also leading an awesome program called 6 Steps to Mental Freedom, which we'll talk about later in the show. Good morning and hello to you, Teresa.
Hi, Brian. So great to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So glad that you're here too. Man, just been an amazing couple of weeks. As some of you know, I've been doing some vacationing here and there. Some of you probably don't know because our shows have been just going on air across all our syndicated stations, but had a fantastic time. I feel renewed, reinvigorated, refreshed, and ready to pounce on all of this great information that we're going to be sharing today. So I'm glad you're here with us, Teresa. Thank you. Listen, everyone, I love our show for today because we have some great motivational news and information you can actually use with everything that's going on in our worlds. We believe here at Soulivity that you could use some good old-fashioned pick-me-ups to help you keep you moving in a positive direction, inspired. We've got some great stories for you, including another awesome motivational moment coming up later. So let's get started. Teresa, I think the world already knows. I found out about this while we were away, that this great man, who is the great actor James Earl Jones, who was a pioneering leader in the world of cinema and television for more than 60 years, he passed away. He passed away about a week ago. But we wanted to make sure that we had a conversation about his life and legacy. So to start it off, let's learn more about him and his legacy from NBC News.
I shall pray for you morning and evening.
For over 70 years, he graced stage and screen with a voice that commanded attention.
Don't you try and go through life worried if somebody like you or not.
James Earl Jones was born in rural Mississippi in 1931, raised by his mother and his grandparents. As a child, he developed a debilitating stutter.
You never get over it, really. You simply learn how to work around it,
A high school teacher helped Jones find his confidence and his voice. He fell in love with the stage at the University of Michigan and debuted on Broadway in 1957.
Just on a block and then keeping him off me.
His breakthrough Tony-winning performance came as boxing champ Jack Johnson in The Great White Hope, which was later turned into a movie.
Because every time you push that pinched-up face in front of me, I see where it done got me.
As his movie career grew, he continued acting on the small screen. The first celebrity guest on Sesame Street.
I am your father.
But it was a 2.5-hour voiceover session for George Lucas that changed his life.
So he hires a guy born in Mississippi, raised in Michigan, who stutters. And that's the voice, and that's me. I lucked out.
The role propelled him, or at least his voice, to worldwide fame as Darth Vader in Star Wars. For the next 40 years, he excelled on stage, winning a second Tony Award.
James Earl Jones.
And on the big screen, a Navy admiral in The Hunt for Red October.
And I was never here.
In The Lion King,
You are more than what you have become.
the voice of a network,
This is CNN.
and the voice of all baseball fans in Field of Dreams.
People will come, Ray. People will most definitely come.
He received an honorary Academy Award, had a Broadway theater named for him, became a Kennedy Center honoree, continuing to work in new projects, and revisiting classic roles.
I'm only brave when I have to be.
May I have your attention, please?
On screen and in life, James Earl Jones was a king.
The goal wasn't to be a billionaire or to be a Hollywood star, to be a part of good storytelling. The goal was about that.
I found you!
He found his voice, and we got a legend. Steve Patterson, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Woo! Woo! Get a little emotional. That man, listen, I have a personal story to share, Teresa. My parents were big into theater in my hometown of Detroit. And so we would go to plays and bigger productions like The Wiz. And we go to smaller productions. We went to go see Fences, the great story that has been recently been retold and produced by Denzel Washington. This is August Wilson, who was a phenomenal playwright and author. And one of the leads in it was James Earl Jones. He played the part that Denzel played, and I was completely mesmerized.
Mhm.
And changed the way that I looked at theater as a young man. And it was he just had this presence
Mhm.
on stage where when he was on stage, you could not look away. You just couldn't. He embodied the character and just was like this person. And so, anything that he was in after that, I went to go see. Anything. Because it was, he was like royal. Again, the video kind of said it. He was royalty to me at that point. Just this presence of a man. Why would you not have that voice be on CNN? You hear that voice and you know it's James Earl Jones. But anyway, that was my personal story. Did you have any stories of him? Like, I know you, of course, he's international. People know him all around the world. What memory do you have of James Earl Jones?
Feeling the same way, that every time I saw him in a film, I was mesmerized by his presence, just like, whoa, like who is that guy that has this incredible voice? But the voice just was part of like his persona and the character that he would play. I didn't know that he passed because I don't watch a lot of news. So I was like, oh no, but so glad to see that he was 93. Like what a beautiful full life, right? Full life. I didn't know that he was the voice of those characters. I was like, really? Like that was the voice? That's why I liked it so much. So that's what was so cool. It was so cool to discover that those like legendary characters and the voices of those characters were him. And so it's so beautiful that they will always remain like that, right? That in The Lion King, like how amazing is that? That is his voice and presence, oral presence will remain with us forever. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. While we have time, here's some little known facts about James Earl Jones. They mentioned in the video that he attended University of Michigan, but he actually graduated from University of Michigan majoring in English. He first was a pre-med student and he switched over to English, and then he found drama later on. While he was at University of Michigan, he was a member of their basketball team, and he played for 4 seasons. He was also in ROTC there. which he came out, he graduated, he came out of ROTC, and he served for 2 years as an officer in the United States Army from 1953 to 1955. So he's, he served our country. It said in there that they talked about his stutter, which is just amazing to me, because when he acted it's like, what stutter? What are you talking about? All I heard was this deep, beautiful voice, right? He said it was one of the reasons why he wasn't a political activist. But he also said that he hoped that through his art, he could change minds. And he said, I realized early on from people like Arthur Fugard that you cannot change anybody's mind, no matter what you do. He said this to the Associated Press in an interview some years ago. But he went on to say, as a preacher, as a scholar, these roles that he's played, though you can't change a person's mind, you can change the way they feel. That's so important. So in all of these roles where he just embodied, you see James Earl Jones and you see this face, but the character just comes through, that in his own way, I think from a political and from a civil rights kind of standpoint, he's changing how you feel about seeing a person of color in those particular positions of power, right? Or in just the positions, may it be a preacher, a scholar, a doctor, a detective. It's like it brings us closer together. And so he was building bridges through his work throughout all those years. And again, I mean, he had already been working for 20 years, and then he gets the role of Darth Vader. And then that just spurred another 40 years of work where he's playing this, this voice, this character, Luke, I'm your father. I mean, just chills. Any other thoughts that you have when you're thinking about him, Teresa?
No, I agree. I agree with everything you've said. I think, that his voice will live on within all of us and within those characters. So I agree with everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and watch The Lion King just because of that. It's so good. The lessons that he was teaching young Simba was just, I mean, they're things that all of us can kind of use, in our own lives. So thank you, James Earl Jones. Thank you. Thank you for your life and your life's work. And thank you, Teresa, for those comments. Listen, everyone, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we'll talk about, in our next story, about how a selfless act from a widely known rock star saved a young woman's life. You don't want to miss this. We'll be back in just a few. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Go to oldvinewinetours.com and book your luxury wine tour today and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. oldvinewinetours.com offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your wine country adventure. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 today.
The following is a paid advertisement from Premium Weight Loss Peptides.
Welcome to Premium Weight Loss Peptides, your source for compounded semaglutide weight loss medication. At Control Your Weight today, we offer the same active ingredients as FDA-approved drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic, but conveniently dispensed as a dissolvable under the tongue. No more injections, no more pills to swallow. And with our monthly membership, your medication, shipping, and telehealth-related weight loss services are all included.
The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products has not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Start your weight loss journey today. Visit us at controlyourweight.today or scan the QR code.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today, where we are bringing you some inspirational stories from around the world to help you get energized and motivated. It is literally motivational news you can use. And back with me is my awesome co-host for today, Teresa Greco. Teresa, you know, selfless acts are happening all the time. And we talk about this on Soulivity today, where even when we don't hear about them as much as we'd like to in the news media, they're actually happening. And so, we take the tack that, listen, we're going to talk about some of those things and kind of help motivate you into seeing that there's a lot of good in the world that's happening. Well, one story hit the airwaves last week, mainly because it involved a very popular and widely known rock star. Let's learn more about this from WSMV4 in Nashville.
Tragedy almost happened yesterday, but it was stopped by one legendary rocker who happened to be at the right place at the right time. The whole thing was caught on video. Our Dryden Quigley shares how Jon Bon Jovi helped save a woman's life.
It was here on Nashville's pedestrian bridge where yesterday evening one woman was considering taking her own life. That's until Jon Bon Jovi stepped in. Video just released by MNPD shows a woman who has climbed over the railing of the bridge and is looking down at the water below. At the same time, on the other side of the bridge, Jon Bon Jovi is doing a photo shoot. Seconds into the video, Bon Jovi spots her and walks over with another woman. They talk to her, trying to comfort her, and eventually convince the woman to climb back over. Bon Jovi takes her arm and helps lift her over the barrier before giving her a hug. During this, someone on his team called 911, and they all waited with her until paramedics arrived. Both the Metro Nashville Police Department and the fire department came to the scene to help the woman. In Nashville, Dryden Quigley, WSMV4.
Now, Jon Bon Jovi and his wife, Dorothea, have long been known for their philanthropic efforts aimed at helping individuals facing hardships. In fact, they founded the Jon Bon Jovi Soul Foundation, which focuses on alleviating issues like homelessness and hunger. So this act by Jon Bon Jovi wasn't just something that he just did, this is something who he is. And just, you never know, right? I mean, this woman didn't know he was going to be there, and she's fine. She was taken to the hospital, and the reports that I read is that she's doing better now. But wow, Teresa. I mean, again, and I saw you probably didn't hear about this where you are in Canada, in Toronto. And probably other places around the world didn't hear about it. And so that's why we're talking about it today. I mean, that these kind of things are happening, and people are being selfless and kind and generous and around the world, and that it is happening. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
I was in a shock. Because he was in the middle of a photo shoot, which I've been on set before, and you're in the moment in the photography and you're like in character in a sense. And then for him to have noticed that this woman was on the other side and needed attention, like he immediately walked over to her. It wasn't
Right.
like he saw her and then continued, to do what they were doing with the shoot. He totally walked over to her and then like guided the personnel that was with him, like along with him, so that he could go and attend to that woman. I'm so
Right.
glad that they were able to say the right words that were so that she was able to come back over, because imagine like the pain that you're in that moment when you're contemplating doing something like that. Like for her being on the other side, and if that's really the point that she was at, you know, he really was in the right place at the right time, and him
Right.
being perceptive and kind, you know, still brought him to her. And I'm happy. I'm happy that they were able to say what she needed to hear in that moment to bring her back to the other side.
And from what I saw, because I've actually seen, I went back and watched just the video. The video is available out on YouTube where you can just watch the video itself. There was no break in his act, in him and this other woman. I guess it was a publicist or something like that, that was there with him. They saw her and they immediately just walked over to her in a very slow, deliberative kind of way to, you know, hey, what's going on? What's happening? You know, just talk to us right now. Just talk. You don't have to do anything right now. Just talk to us. What's happening? And show that care and concern. And again, we don't know what this woman what was going on in her life that led her to want to take her own life. But what we do know is that the outcome could have been a lot different if they had either waited, not shown any not necessarily not shown any concern, but not walked over, right? I mean, they literally just talked to her. And my guess is just that heart-to-heart energy allowed her to surrender and let go of doing that act and climb over the fence. And then what happened when she climbed over the fence? There was this hug that was given, and that she just needed love, concern, caring, nurturing. Like, listen, you matter. And so, you know, Teresa, it's like, these are those stories where it's like, it's a reminder that one, all of us matter. All of us matter, you know. And two, there are people that do love and do love us. Even people that don't know us have love for us. And so, you know, it's just a beautiful reminder of the miracles and the love that's in our world, and that it's actually better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. There's a lot of things that we want to change, yes, but there's a lot of good here too. And so we want to make sure that we're sharing that with all of you. So thank you for that, Teresa. Thank you for your words. Yeah, this is, you know, give us some little warm fuzzies. You know, we deserve this stuff, right? We deserve to hear about this stuff. You know, we hear a lot about politics and the bad stuff and all that. We don't hear enough of this kind of stuff. And so that's why we're giving you this motivational news you can use today. Teresa, when we come back after this break, I want to talk to you. This is kind of related to this last story, and maybe even James Earl Jones' story, about one of the important aspects of this program that you're doing called, you know, 6 weeks to mental freedom. Specifically, there's an aspect of it that I think people need to hear more about, and that's taking responsibility for those things we can change while letting go of the things we can't. And so, everyone, we're going to take this break, and you'll learn more about what we're talking about next.
Are you a business owner looking to expand your reach and revenue to a perfect community? Being a Soulivity Today radio sponsor puts your business in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every week, and it's affordable too. For about the cost of a cup of coffee and snack each day, you can reach ideal people looking for your product or service. Soulivity Today is a weekly, hour-long program that dives into the heart of what matters most in our lives, the people, places, and topics that shape our world. It's the perfect place for your business to shine. Go to Soulivity.com/Soulivity Today to learn how you can expand your business marketplace by becoming a Soulivity Today radio show sponsor. And for a limited time, special rates are being offered, so don't delay.
Addiction is an epidemic. Millions are struggling and over 100 lives are lost each day. Are you next? At Better Addiction Care, we understand the devastating impact of drug and alcohol addiction. Our network of treatment centers are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's time to fix the pieces addiction has destroyed. Our network of treatment centers offer detox, therapy, counseling, private luxurious centers, physical fitness, chef-prepared meals, aftercare, and your insurance may cover up to 100% of costs. Only you can put an end to your addiction. It's time to make the life-changing call and get the help you need. Call now, and in just minutes, you could be on your way to a drug and alcohol-free life. The call is free and confidential, and there is no obligation. Visit betteraddictioncare.com or call
855-246-4024. That's 855-246-4024.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity Today, where we are bringing you some motivational news you can use. And back with me is my awesome co-host for today, Teresa Greco. Teresa, one of the most important experiences that I had growing up with my parents. In fact, it's something that I saw every single day when we would have dinner at my house. And that is on this wall that was directly opposite of my seat at our dinner table was this plaque. And on the plaque was the beautiful Serenity Prayer. And so the values of the Serenity Prayer are something that are really like embodied in me. And for those of you who don't know about what the Serenity Prayer is or what's on it, it reads, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so, Teresa, this is also an important aspect of the program that you have called 6 Weeks to Mental Freedom. And it's this process, and I'm paraphrasing here, it's this process that helps you gain the skills to expand the good that can flow into your life. And so I wanted to take some time with you today on this Motivational News You Can Use show to talk about this with you and get your insights on it so that people can really understand that like programs like this aren't just programs to just whatever, oh, well, you can take this program and it'll make you feel better and that kind of thing, but that it won't really have any tangible benefits. No, it really will. It really does. So talk about this concept of, that I look as this part of the serenity kind of process where we're discerning in our lives what we can control and what we can't control. And knowing the difference between those things and how that can move us forward. What are your thoughts, my friend?
Thank you. Thank you for that. So I talk about our happiness bubbles. And so our happiness bubbles are like clear soap bubbles that we exist within. And we have complete control inside of our own happiness bubbles. And we can't affect change within anybody else's. So everybody is in their own soap bubble that they're clear. So when you and I right now are interacting with each other, so I can kind of see what's happening inside of your bubble, you can kind of see what's happening inside of mine. But we have full control over what happens inside of our own. That is hugely empowering because it means that our life is within our own control, our individual life experience. What's happening outside of ourselves is all of it outside of our control. We can't even control our kids, our spouse, our partner, like anything at the world at large. When you know that you can control the reality and create the reality that you experience every single day, then learning the tools that can help us to manage our life and to really create the life of our dreams so that we can interact with other people's bubbles, but with having healthy boundaries, with knowing the extent of perhaps how much we can affect change on other people and the world around us. And so 6 weeks to mental freedom are tools. We are not taught these tools in school. And most people don't know the tools because, again, we're not taught these things. And so this program was created by another practitioner. It was not me. She's counselor, therapist, lots of amazing credentials. And with all her experience, she created 6 weeks to mental freedom, that every single week you learn a tool that helps you to navigate anything that is taking away your mental freedom, taking away your peace, taking away your happiness. And so things happen every single day that I say that we are love, peace, and happiness at our core. Our essential being, our original nature is always love, peace, and happiness. But the world does this to us every single day. I feel pulled away. I wake up, love, peace, and happiness. And then within, like, depending even like in the home environment that you live in, within minutes, we could be pulled away from that. And so what are the tools that we can use to bring us back to the wholeness that we are, back to the love, peace, and happiness that we are? And mental freedom is that solution. I would not offer this program if I didn't believe that the 6 tools you will learn in this program will help you to regain control over your life.
Right.
Help you to bring you back to the peace, love, and happiness that you're looking for.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I think what I want everyone to kind of think about, these things that you're talking about, Teresa, is how much energy do we spend on any consistent basis on things that are completely outside of our control? And I don't just mean trying to do something to change it. I'm just saying occupying your energy in your space where you're frustrated, you're exasperated, you're angry, and that just is all about in your space, and you're not doing the other things that are necessary to move your own life ahead, doing those things that, number one, you said, love, peace, and happiness, embodying those things and having that be part of your energy, because those are things that you can control. And when you do that, what I find is, just like you were talking, Teresa, your world changes. Your outer world changes immediately. And does it take practice? Yeah. Do you need help in learning how to do that? Yeah. So here's a way for everyone to do that with you. And I wanted to make sure that we talked about this today, because when you're hearing all this different motivational news, right, that you can use in your own life, it's, we're not doing it just to give you just some warm fuzzies. It's actually to help you practice more on a consistent basis the things that you just said, which is, I have a choice in what I'm going to fill my cup with from the moment that I rise to the moment that I go to bed. I have a choice. And so you can choose to worry about stuff that you can't control at all, or you can make the choice and fill your cup with not only the things that make you feel good and that kind of thing, but also motivate you to move toward how you can create your best life. And so that's why we're talking about this. So thank you, Teresa. This is great. This is really great. And we'll talk about another aspect next time that you're on, because I think all the different things that are there are all like answers to the question around how do you move forward. And so thank you for doing this. Thank you for offering this program. Just want to remind people before we go to break here, you can find out more about 6 Weeks to Mental Freedom with Teresa Greco by going to our website at soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom. That's all one word. That's soulivity.com/TeresaMentalFreedom.com. Listen, we're going to take another short break. And when we come back, we're going to have some great and amazing motivational inspiration for our motivational moment. It's coming up in just a second. This one is not to be missed. We'll be right back.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from the Timeshare Exit Hotline, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get out of their expensive timeshare contracts. We're offering you a way to legally get rid of your timeshare. So if you're fed up with the maintenance fees that keep on coming and want to learn if you can terminate your timeshare legally and permanently, call today. Call the number on your screen today. It's a free call.
Dial 877-798-5991 today. That's 877-798-5991.
The following is a paid advertisement from Premium Weight Loss Peptides.
Welcome to Premium Weight Loss Peptides, your source for compounded semaglutide weight loss medication. At Control Your Weight today, we offer the same active ingredients as FDA-approved drugs like Wegovy and Ozempic, but conveniently dispensed as a dissolvable under the tongue. No more injections, no more pills to swallow. And with our monthly membership, your medication, shipping, and telehealth-related weight loss services are all included.
The statements made regarding these products have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The efficacy of these products has not been confirmed by FDA-approved research. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Start your weight loss journey today. Visit us at controlyourweight.today or scan the QR code.
Hey, we are back here with more on Soulivity today, where we are bringing you some motivational news you can use. And back with me is my awesome co-host, Teresa Greco. Teresa, you're going to love this motivational moment today. It is so good. It's powerful, but it's also practical for all of us to remember. And the one thing that you'll love is that it's all about how to begin mastering happiness and joy in our lives, because I know you're our happiness life coach. So I know you're going to love this. So why don't we go ahead and get started? Here's more from the Dare to Do motivational YouTube channel.
Once upon a time in a small village, there lived a wise old monk. He was known far and wide for his wisdom and sense of humor. One day, a young and eager student named Sam approached the master and said, "Master, I want to learn the secret to happiness and success. Please teach me." Master Situ looked at Sam with a twinkle in his eye and said, "Very well, young one. But first you must complete a simple task. Go to the market and buy the biggest, juiciest watermelon you can find. Then carry it on your head and walk through the village without dropping it." Sam was puzzled, but determined. He went to the market and found a massive watermelon. Balancing it on his head, he walked through the village with utmost concentration. As he passed by, people couldn't help but laugh and cheer him on. Some even joined in, clapping and making funny faces. Finally, after a bumpy journey, Sam reached Master Situ's hut. The watermelon was intact, and Sam was relieved. He looked at Master Situ, expecting to be praised for his accomplishment. But Master Sito burst into laughter. "Well done, young one," he exclaimed, wiping tears of mirth from his eyes. "You see, the secret to happiness and success is simple. Just like carrying that watermelon, life can be full of challenges and unexpected twists. But if you face them with a light heart and a sense of humor, you will find joy, even in the toughest moments." Sam couldn't help but laugh too, realizing the wisdom in Master Sito's words. From that day on, he approached life with a smile, facing challenges with the same determination he used to carry that watermelon. And whenever he felt overwhelmed, he would remember the funny watermelon lesson and find the strength to keep going. You see, in life, in your life, embrace challenges with a sense of humor, and you will find that life's journey becomes a joyful adventure filled with laughter and success. Be determined, but don't take yourself so seriously. And whenever you feel down or defeated, remember something funny that once happened to you.
I told you, I see you smiling. I see you smiling. I told you it was good. So powerful, simple, practical about how we can live our lives every day in happiness and joy, and that it's always accessible. It is not something that is hard for us to do. It's always there. And so I thought that that cute story of Master Sito and Sam would be something that we could share today on our motivational News You Can Use show today. Because I think that, again, with everything that's going on in our world and everything that's happening with us personally, that we sometimes can, I know I do, Teresa, you probably can chime in on this. I know I can take myself really seriously. And then that can just weigh you down, and it just becomes just, you're wading through the mud and the muck and that kind of thing, when remembering a funny story or watching something funny or just looking at yourself and smiling, right, can change the whole thing around. What were your thoughts when you were listening to that?
Well, watermelon is one of my favorite fruits.
Yeah.
It is, I think it's either 2 or 3 on the list. It's like one of the top fruits. And I'm never going to be able to eat a watermelon again and looking at it the same way. Every time I'm going to look at it, I'm like, it's going to remind me of just approaching some of life's challenges with humor and laughter. And that, as you said, sometimes we get into our heads and we overthink things. And I'm going to use another analogy. You know, the scenario of like the devil and the angel on either side of our shoulders.
Yeah.
So the angel is our God self, our essential being, our original nature that's there saying, you're great, you're magnificent, you're amazing, you're unique, you're special, you're incredible. And then the devil on the other side is really like your egoic self that says, you're a loser, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh, that's so challenging. You're never going to be able to make it. And oh, look at, all the other times you weren't successful. And look at all of your challenges. And it's like, and I call this like the negative Nelly voice, or, Michael Singer calls it the roommate in your head that's constantly tearing you down, sabotaging you, criticizing you. It's this. And so we have this battle of our original nature saying, no, you can do whatever you want. You can achieve your dreams. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're creative. Always like poo-pooing on you, right? And so there's always like this challenge between both of the voices in your head. And it's like you have to choose. Which voice are you going to allow to be louder within you? And so it's like this one that says, oh, life is so hard and you're never going to be able to make it and all that other stuff. And then this one that's cheering you on all the time. And like learning to choose which voice do you want to be louder in your head. And
Yeah.
it takes practice, because we have a negativity bias that makes the negative voice a lot louder than
Yeah.
the God voice inside of us. And so
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm always trying to like work on having the real true one be louder, but it's hard. It's
Yeah,
hard.
it's
And
hard.
like having mental freedom is one of the strategies, and learning to like recognize the negative Nelly, the little devil that's trying to pull you down, and saying, no, I'm not going to
Yeah.
listen to that. I'm going to choose to listen to the truth of that which.
Absolutely. Yana Vanzette would always say when that voice would come, and she'd just say, shut up. Just shut up. Thank you. Thank you for that, Teresa. Wow. Listen, we got to get this quick break in. But listen, everybody, we will be back with more Soulivity today in just a second. Soulivity Today is brought to you by Happy Travelers Tours and Old Vine Wine Tours.
Ready to embark on a wine-filled adventure? Go to oldvinewinetours.com and book your luxury wine tour today and experience the unparalleled beauty and flavors of Sonoma, Napa, and Lake counties. oldvinewinetours.com offers transportation for the most amazing experiences in the Sonoma Valley, Santa Rosa, Healdsburg, and all of Sonoma County, as well as the Napa Valley and Clear Lake wineries of Lake County. From boutique tastings to bridal party transportation, we have you covered. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 for more information. Don't forget to mention promo code Soulivity to get 10% off either a culture or wine tour. Book your wine country adventure. Visit oldvinewinetours.com or call 707-386-9859 today.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Dial 855-486-4553 today. That's 855-486-4553.
Hey, we're back here with more on Soulivity today. Teresa, thank you just for being here. You're always just so amazing, when we do these shows together. Your light, your love, you embody this motivation that'll help move us forward. And you just so wicked smart too. So thank you. Thank you for being. Just want to remind everybody to learn more about Teresa and her program, 6 Weeks to Mental Freedom. We talked about it earlier in the show. You can go to soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom. That's soulivity.com/Teresa Mental Freedom. That's all one word. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Also want to remind you that at soulivity.com, we've got some really great new inspiration, including some new stories that I'm sure that you will enjoy. One is really important, some great information about how you can have tough conversations about a loved one's mental health, some tips about how to do that. Just really, really important strategies that are there. Also, want to remind you to follow us on social media and join our mailing list by visiting our Soulivity Today site. You can go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the amazing social media platforms. Do a search for Soulivity and you'll find us. Also, we're a podcast. So when you go to our Soulivity Today site at Soulivity, you can download us and take us with you wherever you may roam. I like to do that, roam, instead of going anywhere. Teresa, this has been great. What a great show. A lot of great information to share. And I guess, this is what it's all about. We are America's place for having these kind of conversations. And so we want to continue it and expand it and all that kind of stuff. And so thank you for just being a part of this magical family that we have here.
Thank you so much. I feel exactly the same, Brian. I feel very blessed to be here. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Listen, everybody, just want to remind you just a couple of quick things before we get out of here. I just want to remind you that we've got another great show coming up every week in some instances, and then every day in other instances, depending upon where you are around the world. With all our collaborators. Again, this is how we do it here at Soulivity Today, where we're trying to bring you all this great news and inspiration and purpose-filled talk. We're expanding our collaborations with a whole lot of other people. So, make sure you're tuning in, because we're going to be having even more expanded talks with some great experts from around the world. So on behalf of all of us here at Soulivity and Soulivity Today, I want to thank you for being with us here on today's show. You can join our nationally syndicated program by watching us at 8 a.m. Eastern on our Soulivity TV channels, or you can listen to us on select radio stations across the United States. Listen in wherever you are, your home, your office, or at home. These are conversations that will empower you every single day. And, until next time, keep having these conversations with your loved ones about passion and purpose, and embody them, because sooner than later, you're going to create your best life of high quality living today. Until next time, this is Brian Wesley Johnson saying thanks again for joining us, and we will see you again.
This work is subject to copyright owned by Affinity Global LLC. Any reproduction or republication of all or part of this is expressly prohibited unless Affinity Global LLC has explicitly granted its prior written consent. All other rights reserved.